There we go. So what are we going to talk about? You have any idea?
No, I saw you were talking earlier about Jordan Peterson saying 50 approaches a day is pretty good.
50 approaches. If you
I'm
don't get
surprised
laid,
that
if you do...
he's talking about dating and pickup so much because he's talked a lot of shit about the pickup industry in the past, and now he's like,
Did he?
yeah, he kind of was saying something that thinks pickup artists are sociopaths or psychopaths.
Oh, I think I might have seen that one. Yeah. But I guess the thing is what he does is he covers a lot of ground. So it's like, okay, well, maybe a certain part of pickup artistry, if you're just approaching a lot of people and you're not really building any relationships, then it's might be seen as sociopathic or psychopathic. And then maybe I guess like approaching in the context of the video that I made, it was more in the context of, okay, you got a fear of rejection, and this is a good way to overcome it by approaching a ton of women and then just getting rejected a lot of time. It's just expose yourself to the rejection. And what I did was I chose to use that as an example of what I'm doing is I'm gathering data and torturing the data to meet my agenda, and my agenda is that pickup's awesome. So I might take a little bit of what Jordan Peterson says that fits my agenda, and that's that, day game's awesome. So
Or mentalization or whatever.
yeah, but that's what science is, isn't it? A lot of it is they just rig it. They just pick out what suits them, and I guess that happens everywhere too, right? And it is associated with the dark triad to some degree, doing pickup, because it's like lots of different girls um, and it's you have to be a little
Both
bit.
have lots of different guys, so it's like
Yeah, girls have lots of different guys too. So, but yeah, it's I guess gay guys will bang anything as well. Does that mean all gay guys are psychopaths? I don't know.
not. I think he was. I think he's one of those kind of personalities that just kind of says things to get attention because attention gets viewed and sells, and like more
Yeah,
attention, more money.
I guess when you're in a long conversation and you got to think on the spot, and often he just says his personal opinion on whatever it is, and it might even change, depending on the context of the conversation too. I feel like he seems like a real honest guy, so it might be his opinion then. But if someone else asked him the same question in like a year's time, it'd probably, depending on the context of the question and where he is, he might have a different opinion and not even realize it. But it's good for the video I made, I just took that little bit of information and thought, okay, well, that meets my agenda, and my agenda is that pickup is awesome. So, yeah, I love like day game. It's literally the best fucking thing on earth. I can't think of anything else I want to do.
And for anybody that's watching, we're talking about Jordan Peterson. I don't think we mentioned his name. Everybody watching is probably like going to think, "What the fuck are you guys talking about?"
Maybe you can clickbait the hell out of the title of this video and call it like Jordan Peterson says something, and then just insert outrageous sentence. He's in some sort of a I think he's in a mental institute or a drug something right now. I don't know. I think he was taking pills or something. So he can't really defend himself. You might as well just clickbait the shit out of this video.
The
Just
thing is,
clickbait
I've done that before. I've done that before and had gotten strikes against my YouTube account
Really?
just using somebody's name, man.
Really? Who?
RSD.
Oh, that's actually pretty common.
Yeah, RSD
I,
loves to threaten people with lawsuits.
There was a few people actually. There's another guy that I collabed with, Avery. His channel AG Hayden. He's got an awesome channel where he does a lot of analysis of infields, and he mentioned RSD and got a strike. And another guy, Ice White. He's like the guy in Game Global. I'm part of Game Global as well. He did some sort of a charity video and mentioned RSD, and they took it down. Yeah.
Any way you're mentioning, if they have money for lawyers, man, you got to be careful. At least that's in my experience. You know, some people don't care as much. Some people just don't have money for lawyers. But RSD, that's not the case. You know?
Yeah.
The guy who started it, Nick Ko, he comes from like a super rich, wealthy Chinese family, like old money from like China type shit. At least that's what I heard.
Is he Chinese?
Yeah. You can't tell?
The guy behind RSD's Chinese.
Yeah, Nick Ko. What's his name? Tyler's, I think they're like best friends or whatever. They started out together.
Does that mean that RSD is funded by the CCP? and this is
they definitely have a lot of influence somehow or another.
Maybe RSD was established by the CCP to try and destabilize the sexual marketplace value of men in America, and it's all part of this Cold War mentality. And
yeah, definitely.
And
definitely.
Imagine that. They're like, we'll establish RSD and convince men not to have children and reproduce, and then they'll have a demographic hit a demographic cliff, and then China can take over. Oh my God, we've got to the bottom of this. RSD is in bed with the Chinese Communist Party, and
propaganda.
Something needs to be done about it. Oi, there's your title.
I wouldn't put it past them. China's got all types of stuff off their sleeves. You know, they're very strategic. They have the highest IQ. They're a country with the average highest IQ. And that's pretty hard to do considering they have the majority of the population in their country. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're capable of all types of devious things.
And maybe that's why Julian was choking out a Japanese girl.
Was he? Oh, yeah. I totally forgot.
Oh, my God. All the pieces are coming together now.
That's some old material. I remember that. That was like almost 10 years ago.
He wasn't choking out any other Asian. He was choking out Japanese. And he was doing it on behalf of the Chinese Communist Party. They decided to send RSD down there to try and bang as many Japanese girls as revenge for the 100 years of humiliation. Think about it.
No, was it 100 years? I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah, it was 100 years of humiliation since the Opium War when Britain attacked. But Russia, Japan, United States, France, UK all invaded China at the same time. And then Imperial Japan colonized like the whole area and just did a lot of stuff to the Chinese. Yeah, lots of...
Probably know more about it than me because you're in that part of the world.
Yeah, I'm living in Asia.
It's crazy because Australia is like... It's such a unique part of the world. It's like mostly Caucasian, but you're like literally like a couple hours away from all the...
We're not Caucasian. No, we're not Caucasian. I'm literally in the CBD of Sydney, which is the largest city in Australia. So I'm in the largest city in Australia, and I can walk down the CBD and there's no white people. I got to tell you, that is a myth. And I don't know why that myth continues, but there's no
It's
white
mostly
people here.
Chinese now.
Yes, yes. It's
Yeah,
but
I
the
hear
thing is,
they're moving in a lot actually, buying property in Australia.
we have a land mass the size of the United States, almost the size of China. Australia's a massive country, by the way. It's the size of Europe. My country is the size of Europe, and we have a population of 25 million. So you guys have a population of 350 million. We're 1/7 the size. There's like literally nobody here, and so what we do is we're surrounded by 1 billion Asians on our doorsteps. Indonesia with like 250 million. You know, they're all flowing in from all over Asia, and if you go through the CBD, there's no Australians. I can't remember last time I spoke to a white person. you're I have to speak to an American like you before I'm like, that's a white person? Is that a white person? No,
But
seriously.
Australia is not that habitable like most of the country. So, is it?
Yeah.
Only a
The
small
center,
portion. It's not like over 120 degrees Fahrenheit. You know.
the center is like, there's a lot of desert in the center, and it's pretty hot. But yeah, the CBDs, they're all Asian now, actually. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, but and it's actually the opposite. One thing about dating, which I think is really interesting, is a lot of people think that Asians are easy. But the thing is, when you're in a country like mine and you have a lot of Asians coming here, and as soon as they get their hands on those sweet Australian dollars, they're not as easy as they were before they had the Australian dollars. If you know what I mean. So it's totally different, and I think it's easier to get laid in America than it is in Sydney. Sydney is a very tough place, actually, and it's
Women are
not
very
just.
feminist-minded. It seems. Is that a case? Is that the case?
Beg pardon? What was that?
I feel like the feminism runs pretty strong there, especially with
Mm,
that's what it seems like the media is making it seem like.
it
That's what
is
I've seen here.
it is fairly feminist, but it feels like it's more feminist in the United States. In Australia, something weird's happening, where you have a lot of people from different backgrounds coming here, and what they do is they want to a lot of men from different countries in Asia. They have to they're doing everything in their power to try and get laid. And what they do is they try and intimidate the girls from their country when they arrive in Australia to try and hold on to them. So it
How do
actually
they
makes it.
intimidate them? What's their strategy for that?
Well, it's group intimidation and the possibility of becoming an outcast in your own little.
No pressure? Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so and they're all using it from every single country. And I didn't realize
Indians
how
do that a lot,
difficult.
I've noticed.
Sorry?
Indians do that a lot. And the women are
Yeah.
they allow them. Indian women are like they're so it's so easy for them to control Indian women that way. Even if they don't really like. I've noticed that here. Like there's a lot of Indian. They're very clannish when they go
Yeah.
out. And
Yeah. If you see an Indian in Australia, they're only dating other Indians. If you see a Pakistani,
same
only
here,
other
man.
Pakistanis.
Even if they like a guy, even if they like a guy who's not Indian, like when they're in their group, you can kind of tell because I've been doing pickup for like over 10 years. I can tell when a girl doesn't like a guy, but
Yeah.
they'll give him what he wants just because they, like you said, they don't want to be alienated. It's very group
Yeah.
think.
Mm.
Yeah, sorry
Yeah.
to cut you off. Just something I observed.
No, yeah, it makes perfect sense, and we we have that issue. It's an even bigger issue in Australia. It's probably 10 times worse. I don't know. Like I'll put a huge number on it, and I didn't realize how difficult it was in Australia to get laid until I would see a lot of coaches come down here. They run boot camps and stuff, and then they complain about how difficult it is and how flaky the numbers are, and um, but it's a good training ground. So you go somewhere else after you come to Sydney, spend 6 months here, and then go somewhere else, and it's like everywhere else is on easy level.
You can get laid in Sydney, you can get laid anywhere, right?
That's what I feel like. Yeah. I remember there was a guy, David Bond. This guy was.
Oh, David Bond. You know that guy? You know him personally?
No, well, through other people, but I've never really. When I had another channel which was more of a funny channel, like years ago, and he started like following me and messaging me, and
what happened to your other channel?
Well, I was just making lots of different random content and experimenting with it. But I remember him and some other guys were mentioning how difficult it is to go to Japan. And I realized that when I went to Japan, it wasn't as easy as you would think, because some foreigner actually like murdered someone off Tinder. So, and obviously like the RSD thing and everything else that's happened in Japan.
Didn't know that. That's crazy.
So if you get online, it's and if you're traveling through and you haven't planned it, it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to drop in Japan for like 2 weeks, and you can't pipeline a few numbers online. You've and the nightclubs are useless because the nightclubs are pretty much full of prostitutes. So you've only got day game. And I get there and I'm like, okay, no numbers, no nightclubs. Let's just day game the fuck out of this place. I don't know how many approaches I did in like 9 days. It would have been
that good of luck in Japan.
Well, what I did was I just went totally insane for 9 days. I eventually got 3. But it took a while to come up with a strategy that worked. But literally, I was like, I'll wake up at 8 o'clock and go, okay, breakfast, day game, lunch, day game, dinner, day game, no sleep, just day game, got a game, and it was just okay. Well, I'm gonna go check out this castle or Japanese monument or something, and I'm going to day game the fuck out of everything between here and the monument. I don't know how.
When were you
in Osaka?
Osaka, and how long were you there?
9 days.
9 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to Japan. I usually go to Japan because I have a son in Japan. I usually go.
Really?
Yeah. But I usually go for a month at a time, and 9 days isn't enough. And I used to do a lot of day game in Japan, and I gave up on day game in Japan because I did get dates, but it's very like taboo to approach and pick up women in the street, at least in my experience. So I had more luck doing night game in Japan than I did day game.
Yeah.
It's basically like a lot easier. Women, they go out to clubs to have fun.
Yeah.
It's just
that makes
culture, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I noticed in Osaka was like there was lots of prostitutes there, and the nightclubs.
You tell when a girl is like on the clock and a girl isn't. You know?
Yeah. And the nightclubs, they were just I don't know what it was because I went in, I tried a few,
Did you
and
go
they
to
were either
G3?
I don't know the names of the places, but they were expensive to get in. Some of them were dead.
Dude, I would
Uh,
get in for. Oh, I gotta. Oh man, you need to go to Osaka with me. I know. I've partied with some of the locals there, man. I know places where you can get in for free. The drinks are free all night. Like,
well,
dude, you had a you missed out. There's a couple places that literally I was drinking for free, and I have a couple friends there that work at clubs that
ah,
they thought I was Australian because I was hanging out with some Australian guys, and one of the security used to live in Australia. He's a Japanese guy. I still have him on Facebook actually, and
hmm.
yeah, I just he's built a relationship with him, and we would hang out when he got off work, and we would go to all the Japanese places, and it's definitely a lot easier when you have like somebody who's a local hanging out with you.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah. I didn't plan it. I didn't know what to do. And I just arrived, and I'll tell you the strategy. What I did was after 9 days, of just spamming the fuck out of that place. You know, you're right. They didn't really like you doing a lot of approaches. I had a lot of old Japanese men pull out their phones and take photos of me, and I'm like, fuck it. I'm
You're
here
gonna tell
for
the fucking police.
They're like, I was like, is that guy taking a photo of me? I was like, hi, approach. um, and I came up with the after I don't know how many approaches. I came up with okay, well, I'm just gonna number close some, and then I'm gonna try instant date, you know, the basic stuff. And then it was like, okay, I'm gonna meet them and try to pull directly home. I got a few into my hotel room from like hello to like pull straight home, and it just they get into the room, they're like, how did I get here and what's going on? And and they were like, you know, it didn't really pan out. But I came up with a strategy,
Can't do that.
and
You gotta have them have a couple drinks before you start trying to take them home. Not like
then I
drunk, but just like a
yeah
beer. Then they're kind of like more horny, you know. And
yeah
the girls that are in clubs, they're more looking to get laid. I'm sure it's on in the back of most women's
yeah
minds, than some girl that's just walking on the street, But
yeah
that's
that's
my opinion.
yeah, the clubs, if they would have worked, that would have been better. But I didn't have that option.
You gotta tell me
So,
next time you're going to Japan. We gotta like plan a trip, and I'll
mm,
take you to Osaka. I know a lot of
look,
great places.
if this damn pandemic didn't fucking hit, this year was supposed to be Jakarta, Ho Chi Minh, and then maybe somewhere in South America somewhere. I haven't been to South America.
Yeah,
Um, but that was definitely on the list somewhere. And then maybe Eastern Europe. I was gonna do a good couple trips this year, and then all this shit happened. It's like fuck, just ruined everything. Um, but you got to hear this strategy. Got to hear this strategy. So I came up with a day game strategy for Japan. And if anyone's listening to this, got to hear this. So you find two Japanese girls, and they're going out for lunch or dinner or breakfast. You know, like you often see two Japanese girls that met up. They've got off the train, they met up with each other, they go shopping or whatever, and you approach the two of them. I've noticed that when you approach the two of them, they're far more relaxed. There's less stress. You know, there's strangers come over to them, and believe me, I did a lot of approaches, okay, before I came up with this. So it was like testing different things and go, that didn't work. That didn't work either. Well, that was a little embarrassing. I'll try this, you know. So it was approach two girls that are together. That worked the best. And then I'll tell them, because there was obviously a language barrier, I just go, no, you can't go for dinner there. And just like tell them no. And then they'll just like laugh at me as if like I'm a fool, right? And then I'll just do like hand gestures or food or drink or something, and then go out to lunch breakfast, lunch, or dinner with the two girls. And then we sit down, and what I do is I show a lot of that I'm interested in one of them, obviously, and I get her number during the dinner or the coffee or whatever. And then at the end, what I do is I get her friend's number in front of her. So I got both their numbers. And what usually happens is, I don't know, you'd know better than I do because I don't really know Japanese culture that well because I've only been there for 9 days. But one thing I noticed after 9 days of just approaching the hell out of that city is that I don't think the two girls communicated with each other. I don't think the Japanese people communicate with each other if they're jealous or not. Because what happened was when I would approach the two girls, go out on a little date with them, we'll go out to coffee or something, I get the girl's number that I'm interested in and make it really obvious that I'm interested in her, make it really, really obvious. And then at the end, I get a friend's number. I feel that they don't communicate. So the girl that I showed interest in when I left, instead of actually communicating with a friend and saying, hey, has he messaged you, or are you going to meet up with him, or, communicating with each other, it's like game theory. They're not communicating, I felt. So what would happen is when I message her, she would, instead of just treating me like every other flaky number that I got in Japan, it would feel as if she thought that I was going to message her friend and go on a date with a friend. So what she would do is come around to my place straight away. And one thing I noticed is they started coming straight back to my place literally within 24 hours. And I only figured that out after 6 days. So the last 3 days in Japan were fucking awesome. It was like 100% strike rate when I used this method. And the girl would literally come straight around. And it's as if she thought that, so I would go out to the cafe or whatever, and as soon as they would leave together, and then they would split up because they're both going home. And as soon as those two split up, the girl that I showed the most interest with would send me a message saying, where are you? And literally come straight back to my hotel. And that's my devious, manipulative strategy for Japan. Yeah. And it worked. So yeah, if anyone goes out there, let us know how it went. Use that strategy.
I'll remember. I'll watch this video again next time I'm there. If you're not there with me, it's Giraffe. That's the club that my friend works. Giraffe. Did you ever go there? Giraffe. Does it sound familiar? In Osaka. It's a really popular club there.
There were quite a few that were really, really quiet. I don't know whether it was the time of year that I was there. They were relatively quiet. The biggest ones were expensive to get in, and it just... you
go to Giraffe? When I was there, if you went there before 9, it was free to get in. And you could just wait around. Yeah, but I don't know. I would go there and get some drinks, whatever. Then I would get like a little bracelet, so they would let me back in. And then I would go to other places. So I was there for a month, so I had, some time.
So you had time to figure it out.
And I only went on the weekends. It wasn't worth going to any clubs during the weekdays.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was there 9 days, so that's only one weekend. I only had one weekend really there.
I didn't do online dating or anything. It was all cold approach.
Yeah, online dating just did not work. I looked at Tinder. It just, nothing came through. And it's basically because some foreigner like murdered a local girl or something, so they don't use it. It might have changed now. I might have just turned up at the wrong time. But usually the strategy is if you're going to go somewhere, you at least give yourself a week, change your location on Tinder or whatever app you want to use, at least pipeline 5 numbers before you arrive, at least have some sort of a plan. But I was traveling all around the world. I was just coming back from Europe. I just bounced through several countries, and this was like a stopover country. So That wasn't really
Where have you
planned.
been so far, traveling wise?
Not a lot of places, but that particular time, it was Singapore, France, and the UK in that same trip, and it was a long trip. So I was just tired when I came back, and Japan was one of those like stopover type, stay there for 9 days. I thought I'd stay there for almost 2 weeks and check it out, and it was awesome though. Japan's awesome. It would be good if you could live there, but it's expensive too. Really expensive.
Yeah, and the people don't make shit. If you got a job there, you wouldn't make shit either. Compared, like you, in relation to how expensive everything is, it's kind of
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. I found myself eating in and also a lot of the girls, because it's so expensive. Um, you got to be
Everybody
careful
works.
because
People work a lot too.
yeah, they work long hours. But you also need to be careful with the girls because it's a male-dominated society. The women also learn to play the game, and so I took one girl out to dinner. She came down, sat down with me, pulls out the menu, and just starts ordering like a fucking maniac. And as soon as she finished eating, she's like, "Okay, see you later." I'm like, "Motherfucker!"
Yo, they do that with beers too, man. I noticed that too. I never buy any girls beers, but I had some friends that did that I met when I was over there. And the girls would just get the beer. They'd be like, "Oh, thank you," and then they'd walk off and go kiss some other guy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. So that was like the first couple days. I think I was like 3 days in at that stage. I took some girl to dinner. She sat down, ordered anything, ordered so much food, and then she goes, "Do you mind if my friend comes?" And then some girlfriend of hers turns up, and she wanted to just eat as well, and then they wanted me to pay for it, and then they're like, "Okay, bye bye, we're going out." I was like, "Excuse me, motherfucker, what?" And then I'm like, oh, I learned a lesson,
Yeah, well, there's women that do that in New York too, man. So I'm kind of used to
Oh, okay.
it. There's always that girl who loves to take advantage of men, narcissistic
Mhm.
women, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd never really seen that before.
They don't do that in
Um,
Australia.
not really. Not really. But I guess I learned that it was in Japan. It was more of a male-dominated society, so it's more like women. They, men pay for everything type culture. It felt like that. Yeah, it just felt like that. Mm.
Oh,
But I
shit,
feel like I cracked it. I cracked it. I figured out the code.
sounds like it.
Mm.
You
It
said
was
the
really good.
last 3 days you were in like 100% strike rate, so that's
Yes, yes. It literally just came together the last couple of days. Um, but
yeah.
yeah, so are you doing coaching?
Yeah, I coach in the past. Right now, I'm not really doing anything because I kind of refrain from coaching because I feel like it's a lot better to be with somebody one on one, showing them what to do, as opposed to talking to them over the internet because you can only
Yeah.
tell people so much. You kind of words aren't actions, so you kind of have to show people in person. Game's one of those things. I'd rather
Yeah.
do boot camps, but I have my boot camps on hold until September. Hopefully, they'll have a vaccine for this coronavirus by then. You know,
Mm,
but it's like on
yeah.
hold because nobody is really doing game, social distancing, and everything. But I
Uh,
also, what was that?
some people. We've kind of opened up in Sydney already. We've started to open up, and hardly anyone's wearing masks. Um, and day games back on. Day games back on in Sydney, and it is awesome because all of that pent up, like, they've been locked inside, and day games working better than it has before.
I wish it was like that here, man. I get harassed when I don't have a mask on when I'm taking the train.
Really?
Yeah, people here are paranoid, but there's a lot of cases here in New York too. Very dead.
Okay.
But what was I
Okay.
gonna
Yeah.
say? Shit. But I do make a lot of money with products. I don't know. Guess we can veer off to business now. So, do you have any products?
I've just started really, so I think my channel's only 6 months old, something like that. Um, yeah, because I've been doing game for a long time, but haven't really decided to do any like game content. And yeah, I remember there was that the 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 pickup coach apocalypse where people started getting deleted, and
Yeah, I remember.
the squatting
Created some
Casanova,
videos that I
right?
was worried about because of that, which saves my channel probably.
Yeah, so at that point I was like, and I was also because I'm in other niches as well. I talk about like trading and economics and um politics. So I've got a few other channels going as well, and it's kind of stressful. So like my downtimes, okay, well I'm off the laptop. Let's go do a few day game approaches. It's like an adrenaline rush. I can't think of anything better to do with my spare time. It's just fucking awesome. So I think uh, then a few friends of mine were obviously just talking about it and just saying, "Look, why not give it a go?" So here I am. And I showed you before I started writing a book. So that's the only product that I'm gonna have really is a book for now. Do you have like a digital product or something like that?
Yeah, I have a Japan product, which is basically some infield with me explaining my infield. I have the documentary, which is kind of a collage of infield and also me kind of talking about my experiences and you know introducing myself. And I also have 6 infields, like an infield. I guess it's kind of like the Japanese product, but it's more infield footage. It's like hours of infield footage of me explaining, like mainly
Okay.
day game and night game. But
Do you How do you film your infields?
I have a body cam, same way that what's his name, David Bond was doing his stuff. But I took down a lot of my infield because of all the people getting their channels banned,
Uh,
and I just put up like kind of a, a trailer of my products, like everything that is like allowed on YouTube, and I've been
okay.
selling my products that way. But also, I do pretty good, honestly. I sell a lot of stuff through Facebook. I get the majority of my traffic from Facebook. I don't know if you saw my
Wow.
page, but it's like over 10K and it's growing by like 1,000
Your
thousand
page.
every month.
I've only I saw the group.
Yeah, but I have an actual page where I get most of the people from the group, and it kind of like trickles down the funnel. The group is all the people that are like been on my page, the majority of them liked
Oh
my
wow.
content and decided, to join my group. But
Oh.
I definitely suggest a lot of people have like products where they have infield and they're explaining what they're doing from like street to pool, and it seems to be
Wait,
selling pretty good.
I really want to get some infield. It's like all these years I've been watching everyone do infields, and then now there's the game apocalypse where you can't put any infield up. But the problem is, though, it's getting the infield. It's like, what the fuck do you do? Like, you have like some secret cameraman that's like James Bond. You know, he's like hiding around the corner. It's like,
Some
how do
guys
you?
do that. Some guys, you know, this guy, Danny, what's his name? Shit. John Verpoot. He's a German guy. When he was doing infield, he stopped doing infield, but he used to have a. I actually had him on this podcast before. He explained it. He has this really expensive camera that like zooms in from super far away,
Ah,
and he would have a mic on, and his friend would just be like standing, and he would have the camera like right here, like that. He'd be holding it while he's like standing. So he would be on his phone like this. So it looked like he was on his phone and he was just holding a camera, but he was actually recording his friend picking up girls.
how does he hold? How does he know where he's aiming the camera though?
I don't know if his friend's picking up a girl right here. He'll be holding it right here, you know, and the lens will be right here. He'll be pointing the lens in the direction of the guy.
Ah,
But the thing is, he has
yeah.
the camera connected to the phone, so he can see what he sees with the camera on his phone.
Ah, that okay, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. Ah, that would make it so much easier, yeah. Because I was
Pretty
thinking,
pretty
I
smart.
was think, dude, I was thinking about it. I was like, fuck, I really want to. It's like something that I've seen done a million times, and I just everyone's out there got their infields, and I just want to play. I'm like a big kid. I just want.
I've seen some guys that would hide like a fucking camera in like a to-go box, and they would have like a little hole in it where the camera can see, and they would record infield like that. There's a guy that in New York that used to do that, but I was just like, too much, you know. But I was using like a body cam, and I had like it was like a button cam, same thing that what's his name, uh,
David Bond. He uses a
Squat
GoPro. That
Casanova, Squat and Casanova. That's how he would get. He would use like a night vision uh, button cam, and he gets a lot of his infield like that. I was basically doing the same thing as Squat and
ah,
Casanova. David Bond, yeah, he had a GoPro. He wasn't shy about it at all. He just
like put it on his head. He's like,
uh,
just ignore the camera. It's not there. Just pretend it's not there.
his was
They're like,
more
what's
of a
that?
prank channel, honestly. I saw him as like a prank channel. I didn't really see him as a pickup channel.
Mm,
But I don't know
yeah.
what he's doing. I don't really like that guy that much. He's like kind of a shit talker, you know. But
Mm.
he's talked shit about me, so I'm not really a big fan of anybody
Has
that
he
talks shit about me.
on his channel?
No, we've had like back and forth on YouTube, his YouTube channel, and also he
Oh
really
wow,
hates me. He really hates me. He's friends with that guy. What's his name? Austin Summer.
Austin. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
yeah.
friends with him, and he's part of that little clique. And
And squatting Casanova too.
yeah, and all of them like talk about how like I remember on YouTube they were leaving in the comments how much they despise me for whatever reasons. But it's like that's fine, man. I don't want to hang out with somebody that is going to hate me that much, anyways. But everybody, you know, everybody has their own tastes and friends. It's really childish, you know, because you know,
Mm.
in business in general, like the way that you want to survive in business, you have to, you know, build relationships. And if you're making everybody hate you, then you're not going to sell shit. So it's like, you know, you got this
You know,
reputation.
you
Nobody's
know
gonna
when I
sell your
started
shit. Everybody's going to hate you. What was that?
when I started up my channel, Austin Summers and David Bond both joined my little Telegram group in the early, like when it first started. Um,
Telegram. I never used Telegram. Like, what's that? Why is that so useful? Why are so many people using that?
it's just like it's like a WhatsApp type
Oh yeah.
chatting app, and you can have groups in there, and that's where a lot of the guys like Austin Summers and David Bond and all these other guys, they got groups in there. Uh, but yeah, they joined up just to have a look. I was kind of flattered and kind of like wanted to talk, but then they just came in to come and have a look at it and just like left. So I don't know how they found it, but um, that was when the channel was like 1 or 2 months old,
Mm.
you know. Um, but yeah. Well, and speaking of shit talker, what about Jamov, John Anthony?
J-Mo hates me too, man.
He's the number one shit talker.
Yeah.
He's
Hates
the
me because I exposed him. I had a video. I think we talked about this over Facebook. But I had a
Did you?
video that literally destroyed his whole JMO brand, and he had to change his name to John Anthony. And I took it down just because it was like, I don't want to be known for hating on people. But he made a video about me, and yeah, he really hates. You can tell when you really fucked up somebody's brand by how much they lash out when you leave comments on their videos. And every time I left a comment on his video, he's like, "Fuck you, you fucking bastard, you piece of shit." So yeah,
He's the worst shit talker out of all of them.
yeah.
He's like is I think he's partly responsible for Squatting Casanova losing his channel, right?
Yeah, he's like one of those guys that flies off the handle and really makes people look bad that are in the dating coach industry. That's for sure.
Mm. Yeah, he's the Julian Blanc of our times.
He's worse
But
than
he's
Julian.
but instead of choking Japanese girls, he's trying to choke out other pickup coaches.
Yeah,
He made a video.
long ass videos too. I'm kind of under the impression he's like fucking meth addict or something because he fucking just goes on and on and on about shit. But
Yeah, there was a video where he went through and he just called out all of these coaches, but he didn't provide any like objective reasons. So what he said was, it's like, oh, this guy's a shit coach. It was simple pickup shit because they're just a piece of shit. And then this other guy, and this other
oh
guy,
yeah, he's probably on something, man.
and then he's the funniest one was, there's this guy called Chen City. He's from Sydney, this Asian guy, and he said, yeah, this Chen City guy, yeah, he looks like he's got Down syndrome, and fuck him. And that's literally what he
That's his whole
said.
argument, right?
That's his argument. That's his
Oh,
objective criticism. The guy looks like he's got Down
he would
syndrome.
be
It's
a
like,
great
what?
lawyer, I bet. He'd be an awesome
What? Like
argument one like that. Jesus Christ.
that's like a junkie coming down and just going off the handle, right?
Oh, right. That's kind of like the thought process I was going for every time I see when he goes
Oh,
off the handle like that.
I think he stopped drinking. It's that's something.
You'll watch
I
his
don't know.
videos just because he's so fucking like ridiculous. It's entertaining.
I just want to see when he makes another ranting video. So it's like, I don't know, he's drinking again and everything's fine, and then he takes a few days off drinking, and then he just flies off the handle like like a fool, or like, I don't know, maybe his drug dealer doesn't reply or something.
Jason Blaha? You know Jason Blaha? You know who that is? He's like another Jason. Oh man, you gotta look up Jason Blaha. That guy is ridiculous. He's like complete pathological liar. Said he was like a fucking Navy SEAL, fucking bounty hunter. Like took out like fucking Osama bin Laden, and but he believes it.
What?
He's like one of those liars that believes his own lies. J-Mo's like
Oh,
the
he's
pickup version of that guy.
who is who is that guy that you're talking about?
Jason Blaha. I think it's
What,
Jason
what
Blaha. Let me,
is he just some random like is he on YouTube or is
hey, he's a
he
YouTuber. Let me look. Let me make sure his first name's right. I know his last name's Blaha.
and he just goes on rants?
Yeah, that's his whole fucking show. Well, he's like a fitness guy, but the funny thing is,
Oh,
he's like out of shape. He's like the most out of shape guy you'll ever see. Yeah, Jason Blaha, strength and fitness. He has like
oh,
109 subscribers. But if you look at him,
oh.
he looks like he drinks like a fucking keg every day. Has like not a fucking ounce of fucking six pack, and it's like
Does he have followers?
he has 109
Wow.
109,000 fucking followers, bro. Like I said, I think he's just so ridiculous that people
Mm.
watch it for the fucking entertainment value, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I would watch a crazy person just for the sake of it. Like that's why I follow J-Mo. I just wait for the next rant. Um, I I love, I love the video where he just went through and categorically called out everyone. He just went through them all one by one. He's like, this guy's a piece of shit, and this guy, fuck him too, and this guy's got Down syndrome, and I'll tell you
You gotta
what,
message
this
me that on Facebook, man. That sounds fucking entertaining as hell.
it was good. And then recently he had Bradicus on, and then he went on a rant about David Bond, and then Bradicus is like, I think they're friends.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm gonna stay out of this, and then Jake Bob's like, he just didn't care. He's just like going on about David Bond, and you just see it like that's an awkward collaboration right there. It's like
Bradicus is fucking awkward as hell already, man.
you should if you're gonna collaborate with him, you should just go, look, can you have a few drinks before we go on camera? Just calm down, go for a walk, meditate, and then we'll have a chat, okay? How are you feeling? Okay, click record.
Decompress.
Make sure that everything's is level. Everything's level. You know, you've spoken to your family this week. You had a shower today. You relaxed. No stress.
Make sure it's on a day that you've seen your therapist.
Yeah, like if he's got that little twinkle in his eye, that crazy twinkle, just go, maybe we should try tomorrow. Tomorrow's probably a better day. You know, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, he's a piece of work, man. That's for sure. John Anthony, no longer J-Mo. J-Mo didn't work out for some reason.
John Anthony.
But yeah. Anyway,
But in YouTube, does it still rank? Like if you search J-Mov, it probably pops up for his channel anyway, right?
I should just like re-edit the video and put John Anthony and see if it fucking takes out.
You know what you do? You can actually take down, what you can do is you've probably still got the file. You can re-edit the exact same video and then change the title. And you can download some software like vidIQ or TubeBuddy, and you can see the tags for his channel, and then you can put those tags in the video.
Interesting.
And then if anyone searches it, it ranks right up the top. Oh fuck, he's gonna see this video, and there's gonna be 2 videos coming out next week on both of us.
Dude, John Anthony, he tried to. He actually, I think he had like a fake Facebook account, and he joined my group, GBTN PUA, or Real PUA, and he fucking, he was like posting his videos, and I'm like, this
Really?
motherfucker. I'm like, this motherfucker. But yeah.
No, I saw you post that, there's a few guys using fake. There was Abby.
Yeah, Abby. That's Bradicus, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wow.
They think they're being slick, you know?
That's the game.
It's called the numbers game, sales tactics. Message as many people with a link and hope that eventually somebody buys your product.
Ah,
Like spam,
ah.
super spam. I'm sure it works, but imagine how many you're ruining your reputation by doing that. You know? But anyway, man, I think I'm gonna cut it short. I know you were sleeping, and we already got like an hour worth. It's probably gonna
Oh,
be
this is an hour.
it's probably gonna be like 5 GB video that I have to like compress. But I'm glad
Okay.
you came on, Dave. This is Dave Lee,
Oh
dating
no, it's
dating
your one man's life mission. I know
one
why I
man's
got
life
David.
mission. That's his channel. I'll have a link
Yeah,
to your channel in the description also. But yes,
yeah.
thanks for coming on. Was it?
I'll take this and put it on my channel as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We had a
Cool,
lot of
man.
great content.
No, well, yeah, it was good speaking to you, and I didn't realize it went for an hour. Gee, that went fast.
But we'll definitely have you on again if you want to be on.
No, yeah, for sure. Maybe next time we'll have like an actual topic, because we just sat down and we're like, okay, let's
Jot
just
down
wing
some notes or whatever.
Japan, just see where it goes.
Still pretty entertaining.
It was good. It was actually like seriously for people at home. It was good that we cracked the code, knowing that RSD was in bed with the Chinese Communist Party, and that FBI is probably going to arrest Tyler soon. That was good to know. We cracked it. We cracked the code.
Isn't he illegal anyways? He's an illegal alien.
Well, that's exactly it. He was
No
planted.
prestigious visa.
He was planted by the CCP. It's like he's got
Chinese.
he's got WeChat on his phone communicating with Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping's like, yeah, just make sure no one reproduces. Just make that fuck culture ruin their society. It's like behind it.
Yeah.
Oh, this video's gone now. Sorry. Gonna get taken down.
All right, man. Well, take it easy. I'll have you on probably like in a month or so. I got so many people that I'm like cycling in and out, you know. But thanks for coming on.
Oh yeah. No, yeah.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having me. Good chatting to you. Good speaking to you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
This is Dave Lee, One Man's Life Mission. Check out his channel in the description, and we'll see you guys next video.
glorybe9night.com